think you can't grow daffodils in North Florida? I used to think the same thing. But then I discovered a vacant lot in downtown Madison just full of daffodil paperwhites. And they were there thriving, no fertilizer, no care, no special watering, just growing year after year. And if they could grow there, then I could do daffodils in my garden too. Welcome to part 1 of the North Florida Daffodil Guide. I'm breaking this into 2 videos because there's a lot to cover and I want you to be able to succeed. In this video, we're covering the mystery which daffodils actually thrive in our zone, which is 9. We'll be covering the 7 varieties that actually thrive here and come back year after year, and where to source good bulbs that grow in warmer regions of the South and that are not pre-chilled. In part 2, I will cover the 9 essential keys for planting and caring for your daffodils. From sun mapping to soil prep to the golden rule of leaves. So let's start with why North Florida gardeners are so frustrated trying to grow daffodil and how choosing the right variety changes everything. If you want to pick the right plant, you need to know a little bit about the anatomy of the plant. And before you go shopping, running to the nursery looking to see if they have any daffodil bulbs, or going through online catalogs and trying to decide what you're going to order, let's talk about the type of plants that are going to be the right plant for your garden. First, the cup is the center trumpet of a daffodil. Daffodils are categorized by the size of this cup relative to the petals. So some cups are very long, they're huge, others are frilly, some are very small. I'm going to share with you 3 classifications of daffodils, and within those classifications, which ones are highly recommended and are proven growers in this area. And how do we know that they're growers? Because they've been field tested in North Florida area. First is large cup. That's what's called the trumpet that is coming out of the center of the daffodil. There are 2 recommendations to get started with in this area. I would recommend Ice Follies and Carlton. The Ice Follies bloom in February. They're one of the earliest bloomers. They grow 12 to 14 inches high and they need full winter sun. The second is Carlton, and it's famous because it's been a southern staple for nearly a century. The Carlton blooms February through mid-March. It grows the same size as the Ice Follies, 12 to 14 inches high, and it also requires full winter sun, which would be 6 or more hours of sunlight. The next category is small to medium-sized cup trumpet, and there are 3 recommendations in this category. If you want dainty elegance and incredible scent, then you will look for Trevithians, Barrett, Browning, and Sweetness varieties of daffodils. Trevithian blooms in March. It grows 12 to 16 inches high, so it's a little bit taller than the first 2. It also requires full winter sun of 6 or more hours per day. And when we're saying winter sun, the time that we're tracking the sun in our yards is from December through March. The Barrett Browning daffodil blooms mid-March to early April. It's 14 to 16 inches high and also needs full winter sun. And the Sweetness blooms late March to early April, and it grows 12 to 14 inches high. So here you have a variety of bloom times from the first ones in the large cup one that blooms in February, and in the smaller cup size daffodils, you've got one that blooms in April. That gives you quite a span of weeks to have blooms. The last category of daffodil plants, they're named Tazettas. What this means is clusters of flowers on a single stem. Erlicheer, I'm probably mispronouncing that, or Paperwhites. These are the workhorses in Zone 9A because they don't require a long winter chill to bloom. They really have deeper roots. They can grow bushy, large clumps. So the first one, Erlicheer, blooms between February and March. That makes it an earlier bloomer. It grows 10 to 14 inches, sometimes up to 16 inches. It is not classified by cup size. So the other ones we were talking about, large, medium, or small cup. In this one, it's called a double because it's like a gardenia. It has a double bloom. It does require full winter sun, especially morning. It does well with partial shade in the afternoon. And the Paperwhites, rather than having a specific month that they'll bloom, the Paperwhite variety will bloom within 5 to 7 weeks after you plant it. And it grows 12 to 18 inches high and likes the full winter sun in the morning and partial shade in the afternoon. As I told you before, I was just stunned when I saw these Paperwhites growing in the vacant lot downtown. And that's when I knew I just needed the right type of daffodil, selecting your plants from reputable growers. I avoid big box stores and other places where I don't know how they're storing the bulbs. Get your bulbs from a reputable source. There are 2 bulb growers that provide catalogs and newsletters, lots of information, and they grow bulbs specifically for southern gardeners and for those of us in zones 9. And they even have a few daffodils that can go to zones 10. The first one is Southern Bulb Company, and they are based in Texas. The second one is Brent and Becky's Bulbs, and they are based in Virginia. Both have wonderful websites, lots of pictures, lots of educational material, and they offer free catalogs. One thing I would say about ordering your bulbs, once you've decided on the variety, and I hope that you would choose some of the 7 ones that we covered, you need to get your orders placed as soon as the grower that you're going to work with says they're taking orders, because these bulbs sell out. And I found that out when I went on their websites recently. Every single bulb that I looked for was sold out. When I contacted the companies, they said, oh, we'll be providing pre-orders, one in March, and the other one will start taking pre-orders in August. Be sure that you're not left behind in terms of getting your order in. People are waiting. I put the links to the websites in the description below so you can check them out. Click the link in the description or on the card above to watch part 2. Let's get these beauties in the ground. See you there.